Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. With so many video games, you'll be able to smell the crash in North America. Welcome everyone to May 1982, where we last played Angler Dangler, or Fishing if it was in Japan, in the arcades. Wow, what a great game. But the first thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to go actually back to Airline, the Adventure International release, because it turns out that the reason it didn't load in our last episode was because we just didn't read the instructions. I usually breeze by the loading instructions, so it's funny that I looked in the manual and it explains after this step you have to type in run instead of just pushing start and or start on the computer and then the play on the tape. So usually we breeze by because every one of these games auto loads, but it looks like we may have to start looking at loading instructions so we don't miss out. This is the airline simulation or management simulation game, and this one we're going to go with a human player, so let's do that one. We'll call the first one Chrono, and do another one in there. Let's do another human. Let's call them Larry. And then let's go with a computer and another computer. And then how many turns we want to play? We'll just do 9 so you can get a heads up of how it is. How many joysticks we want to use is 1. And ready, set. Looks like, again, Iron Mike's going to play with Larry and HAL82. Nice throwback to 2001. Push start to begin the game. And so here's where we didn't load the game. I thought it was waiting for play and hit return to load the main program. But no. The next step is you type in run, which is pretty simple. We've used that command before. But with the games that auto-load, I'm expecting everything to work all the way through. So here we go. We're in the game. Starts with Chrono's turn first, and the way this is controlled is with the Atari VCS joystick, which is so nice. Check it out. You pick your decision on the left side first, and it's pretty much, do you want to buy a property or list a property for airlines, purchase planes, and the manual explains what the L, C, P, and Q mean. But let's say we want to list a certain area out. So we push the red button, we select which city. Let's go for somewhere big, and Chicago. It costs $36,000 to list the city, and if we push the red button again, yes, spend the money, let's go. And then now Larry's turn, who again is a player, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to list out another airport. They're going to go big. Let's go here. Oh, New York, $64,000. Okay, so Larry's going to go for New York. He purchases it, and it has the whole thing laid out with the color that you want. So now the computer characters are going. We got Mike Tyson or Iron Mike that's going to select theirs. The computer is thinking. Looks like they bought out that one for their turn, and now HAL82 is thinking for their turn. So when you play the game, it's controlled with the Atari VCS joystick, which is reminiscent of playing a strategy game with a better user interface. So it looks like HAL82 is doing its turn, and then now it's showing us what we've made as profits this turn, which we haven't done anything. All we did was buy an airport. And so the more money that you make, you can then in turn spend it on more things. So on my turn now, it's Chrono's turn. I'm going to go for P to purchase a plane, and then ask what plane type. And again, it's all using the joystick. You select the plane type you want, and then the manual explains what every one of these letters represents. We're going to go with an A, and then where do you want to base it? Our base right there. It automatically selects blue where we are. Everything's color coordinated. Now Larry's turn. He'll do the same. He's going to purchase a plane, and we'll go with the D plane and put it in his, which is the red airport there in New York. And you can hear the plane going off, and now the computer takes its turn and thinks about it. So right off the bat, it's 1982 to play a simulation game where you're using a joystick to control it, and it has this interface where we didn't have to do any commands. I thought we had to read the manual to put in what plane and type it in on the keyboard, but you don't. You can use the joystick. It is a thinking ahead of its time kind of strategy game. It's pretty good. Oh, that's true. At the bottom of the screen, yeah. It doesn't say what L means. You still have to refer to the manual. That's true. So, but I'm still going to give it lots of props for 1982 that this is all controlled with the joystick. So you'd be referring back to the manual to say, what does L mean? What does that mean? What does C mean? What does P mean? And the same thing for planes. Okay, so let's go purchase another one. I got enough cash. Let's go with the C plane. Oh, I can't afford the Concorde? Okay. Oh, it did actually say it there. So let's try again. Purchase. What about plane base? We'll go here. Can we base it in Larry's? No landing rights. Okay. Got it. So purchase. I'll do plane base in my own. There's the sound effect of the plane flying off. Very good point. And we're going to see lots of copy protection. Got to look back to the manual. Another reason why I like to collect and find the scans for him. Okay, so Larry's going to do the same thing. Purchase one. I don't think you got any money left. You got $9 grand left, Larry. Oh, you can. Okay, you can buy the smaller plane. I don't have them memorized, so I don't remember what PAD or PAB and C mean. Okay, now the computer's thinking hard about their turn. So really glad that we read the instructions of how to load the game and got the game to play. So this is how you would do it. And it's a 4-player game. You can have 4 people at the same time. Oh, no. Oh, no. While the computer did its turn, the game has crashed. Error, an actual error. Darn. Well, it is still a very impressive title. It still may have been either a disk error or a problem for the game, but I still have to give props for Airline. It is not a 1-star game. Didn't plan for the crash. Who knows what's going to happen on home computers? I would say of all the titles we've seen, this one's still an excellent game to play for a simulation, just in general. Whether you're a management simulation, an airline, or anything else, this is a great game. I'm going to go 4 stars for Airline by Adventure International. Way above average. And with that, let's go back where we left off in the arcades. Let's press forward and see our next game. Oh yeah, here we go.
When it comes to video games, nobody compares to Atari.
I find Intellivision more sophisticated and lifelike.
Gentlemen, move over for my friend Vic. The Commodore VIC-20.
VIC-20?
The Commodore VIC-20 does more than your machines. It's a great computer that also plays great games. Like this, and this, and this.
A computer that plays great games?
Sargon 2.
$300?
Exactly.
We didn't know.
Get the Commodore VIC-20 computer for under $300.
I wonder if it's still under $300 now, because this ad was, well, it's still May, so it's probably still under $300 in May of 1982. All right, so there we go. That is our latest game on the Commodore VIC-20, Ape Escape. Let's take a look at the box for Ape Escape. This is by Spectra Video. Front of the box, I don't know what's happening with the artwork. Oh, it looks like King Kong. It's a metal King Kong being attacked by airplanes. Wow, that is epic. And there's another tower too. So it looks like there's someone stranded on top of another, but there's helicopters fighting a metallic King Kong. Crazy. Flip it over in the back, and sadly, the best scan I could get doesn't explain a lot about the game. It's very hard to see, but it gives you an example of a screenshot and then shows you the Commodore VIC-20, a home computer that plays a lot like a console. You can see it with the joystick down there that we'll be playing on. And there's our cartridge that we'll be popping in. Love it. Cartridges on the home computer. Ape Escape, though, you think the name's kind of strange. It's because this is the home port, one of the few home ports of Cosmic Gorilla. So you take Gorilla and you turn it into an Ape Escape game. It's pretty much the same thing, a one-to-one translation of the arcade game. So we just have some alternate versions there. Let's pop in the cassette and play Ape Escape at some point in the beginning of May 1982 on Spectra Video International. Yes, Ape Escape. Oh, it flashed the screens. Mike Rydell is one of the developers, so way to go, Mike. And we didn't give the props for the other one. It does, right? The look just looks a lot like iMagic. The box art, though, oh man, out of the world. I guess also similar to iMagic doing stuff crazy. So the game already boots up like an arcade game. So it's going into track mode. Nice touch with the cleanup crew. Let's go ahead and push our button on our Commodore VIC-20 and go. So I'm at the bottom of the screen. It's a fixed shooter. As I explained before, it's just like Cosmic Gorilla. And the idea is you're trying to blow up the planes that are taking apart the building in the middle. It was a different concept, more like a space shooter that we played in the arcades. And when you explode, you get dust or vacuumed up. Oh, that's awesome. Very nice touch. They're trying to destroy the Spectra Tower. And they are dropping bombs down, too. It is just as difficult as how we played in the arcades. I like the theme change from a generic space shooter to something like this. I guess taking... They figured that if you put a monkey in a video game, it's going to do well, thanks to Donkey Kong. So yeah, put a monkey at the top. Or I'm sorry, an ape, a gorilla. They're going to be starting to take people away. Oh, we got it. Level 2. So even though it's tile-based, the programming style, you can tell that the quality of this is very good for a VIC-20 game. Shots are fast, joystick is really responsive, but it's predictable because I know if I'm going to move left and right, I'm still going to be moving in the exact same space because of the tile-based programming. Each one's grid-based. Wow, the screen shake is really nice. Oh! He just threw it off the top, and I just stopped. My joystick stopped moving. Oh, nice. So we moved to the next level. Cool. Levels changed. I don't know what I am. I look like I'm Pac-Man. My head is Pac-Man, but everybody else... Whoa, no way. Now it's in the dark, so I can't see the planes. Can I even see the bombs they drop? Okay, difficulty spiked up way high. If I can't even see the enemies. Yeah, Cosmic Gorilla was one release that came out. It was also known as Kamikaze in Japan. And then The End did another one after that. So the very first one we ever saw was Kamikaze in Japan. And then Cosmic Gorilla in other regions after that. Because this is in... Actually, I'm not sure of the region of this one. If this was Europe, it may make sense of them to call it Ape Escape and base it on Cosmic Gorilla. Oh, no. Yeah, you have to now look at the bricks leaving the building and then shoot ahead. Wow, that is intense. Yeah, action's real, plays like a great arcade game. Nice. Oh, I thought you were on our side. King Kong is not. And they have this flash of light, like lightning, that's displaying when the planes show up. But now I'm just shooting in the dark. I can't see where the last plane is. Oh, there you go. So that is Ape Escape for the Commodore VIC-20. Excellent arcade game for the Commodore VIC-20. I'd say of all the Commodore VIC-20 games, this one is 4 stars, 4.5 possibly, if it was just Commodore VIC-20. Since we're rating this on every single home computer that we've seen thus far, or every single video game we've seen thus far, Ape Escape is still an above-average title. I could go as high as 4 stars for every other computer title we've seen so far, just because of how well it plays. So I'll do 3.5 stars. It's definitely above average. I don't know if I can go as full as 4, but the screen shake effects are awesome, and the way that it controls is really nice. All right, so that's Ape Escape. Oh yeah, maybe a 4. Again, we're only doing a 0.5 value, so if we could do something in between 3.5 and 4, that's where it would lie. So there you go. That's Ape Escape. Now let's press forward and see our next game.
My husband loves another man, Pac-Man from Atari. It all started when I found out that if we get a TV from Rent-A-Center, we get an Atari home video system free. And we have the option to own both. It was so easy. I just called Rent-A-Center, and they delivered the TV and Atari the same day. But I'll get revenge. Yar's Revenge, another great Atari game. Then
Nice
you better
segue.
watch out. I love you, Rent-A-Center.
Call now. Get an Atari home video system.
I love you, Rent-A-Center.
RCA, GE, or Philco TV from Rent-A-Center.
Anybody remember Rent-A-Center?
My husband loves another man, Pac-Man from Atari.
Oh my gosh. All right, so that is just a generic Atari commercial, but it is giving away a free Atari when you buy a television. That's a pretty good deal for 1982. And it says Pac-Man, of course, is not included, but to get a console while you're just buying a television, that's awesome. Love it. This is Atari Video Cube for the Atari 2600. Let's take a look at Atari Video Cube. And notice in the commercial, they bring up Yar's Revenge. This is right when Yar's is about to be out or coming out. That's another reason I put it here. And also, Pac-Man is already out there. But it's also a very bizarre commercial because it looks like a home video. It's a Rent-A-Center commercial for Atari that looks like it's in-house, done by Rent-A-Center. So it's not endorsed by Atari. Let's take a look at the box for Atari Video Cube. The latest on your Atari. Flip it over the back, and this one we're going to help Hubie, the Cube Master, solve the magical Atari Video Cube. He picks up and drops colors at your command, and you have billions of possible combinations. Atari Video Cube is fast-paced fun for the whole family. Is it Rubik's Cube, then? Later, this is going to be released as Rubik's Cube. This is the very first release, just called Atari Video Cube. Obviously, to not want to get in licensing trouble. Let's see what other artwork we have for Atari Video Cube. We have the, super old scan, and then brand new. Ooh, I actually like the older scan better than the reconstructed one. Definitely. And then we also have the cartridge we're going to pop in, and then Hubie, I guess it's rhyming with Cubie. Is that who Hubie is? One of the Atari mascots that's lost to time. Right now, Pac-Man's on top as the cute little mascot. All right, let's see what the manual has for Atari Video Cube. How do we play this? Because we've already played quite a bit of Rubik's Cube style games. Let's see what Atari does with it. They're going to probably add a giant story like they usually do in the manual. There we go. There's the table of contents. Tour a Cube Master's World. Is this the story of Hubie? Welcome to the cubicle world of Hubie the Cube Master. I knew they were going to give us a story. Hubie can solve the Atari Video Cube puzzle in 33.7 seconds flat. That's fast, but then he has a lot of practice. You see, puzzles are Hubie's specialty. This is another type of video game that's trying the puzzle genre, and I kind of like how the puzzle genre is nowadays. It's all over the place. You have puzzles that are for super intelligent people, Mensa qualified people, and then you also have puzzles that are just for early educational titles, and then your puzzle games can go all over the place. I really think that's pretty cool. Hubie wasn't always a cube master. In fact, he used to live a pretty ordinary life. Every morning he made breakfast, fed his... Oh my gosh, they really go through this story for Video Cube? Are we just going to play Rubik's Cube and then they give us all this story for it? Oh my goodness, yes. Why? This is even longer than Breakout, and they had a really long story for Breakout for us. Oh my goodness. Yeah, something strange was happening to Hubie. One morning, instead of being in a square bed, he found himself in a strange flat surface. Oh my gosh, he was Hubie the Cube Master. Hubie knew that his mission in life was to teach cubists and future cubists the best way to play the magical cube puzzle. He promised himself that he would learn how to solve the magical cube faster than anyone else in the world. He invites you to help him with his pledge. Can you solve the cube faster than Hubie? Try it and see. I guess it's got to be pronounced Hubie. So the gameplay is, Hubie's home is a 6-sided multicolored cube. It's a Rubik's Cube. Each side has 9 smaller faces, colored all those colors. Your task is to arrange the colors so that each side becomes one solid color. Okay, so it's a Rubik's Cube game. What's the point of Hubie then? On Atari Video Cube, Hubie actually runs around the cube, picks up and drops colors. Every time he picks up a color, he trades the color for the one he has picked up. You can then make Hubie run to another face to trade for a different color. Or watch Hubie race the clock to solve the cube. He might even get some cube-solving tips. Oh, okay, so you can actually watch him play. That's an entertainment for 1982. Let's watch the gameplay itself. Hubie before he picks up a color, after he picks it up. Okay, so it shows him donning the color he picks up. And then, it actually crawls around the Rubik's Cube. So they did create a character. It's not just a Rubik's Cube we flip around ourselves. So we're going to be plugging in our Atari joystick. The only Atari joystick. One of the best controls for the time, in my opinion. So we move him around, he moves up, down, left, and right in the same direction you move your joystick. So you actually get to control him with the joystick. That's cool. Use the red button to make him pick up and drop colors. Once you press once, he'll pick it up in the square he's positioned on. Press the button again, and he'll drop the color in the same or different square. Hubie can pick up. So it's really not a Rubik's Cube puzzle. We're not twisting anything. We're actually going around picking up the colors. It's a cool idea. It's not doing what the other Rubik's Cube games did, which is, let's just put a Rubik's Cube digitally and then you twist it around. By the way, the best Rubik's Cube game we played so far is on the Atari 800 computer. All the rest of them are just trash. They're not letting you actually see the Rubik's Cube twist around. But this one's a completely different take. Yes, I think they put the lore in because they realized this game is going to suck. We got to put something in good. All right, so there's our game variations like we do usual. Game reset to play the game. And then we can even... we can switch the cubes up after that. So you can actually switch and play different cubes where they randomize the colors. That's cool. That's cool. What does the TV switch do? Nothing. Just switches their color to black and white. I'm waiting for this switch to do something. I know there's some games on the Atari that do that. You can use the black and white switch on the console, and it changes and does things in the game. Then we also have difficulty switches. It looks like there's... the buzzer will sound every time they try to run to a square. That's a nice touch. And then there's all our game variations. Lots of different ones to try. It looks like games 1 through 10 are normal speed. 5 through 8 and 15 through 18 are self-playing. That's the ones you can watch Hubie just play himself, play the game himself. Odd number games are scored by the number of moves. Even number games are scored by the time it takes to solve the cube. Okay. And then the object is to get the lowest score possible. If you're playing an odd-numbered game, okay, so this is the score. You got to know what the score is in 1982. If you're playing an even-numbered game, the time measures the amount of time it takes to finish the game. See, now, they're actually giving it some thought. Now that I've read the manual, I realize I'm not just playing a Rubik's Cube game. It's something different. And as usual, they give us the helpful hints. Thank you, and the grid matrix for how to play. They got the normal speed, fast speed, by the number of moves, number of time, if it's blacked out, restricted movement, and then the computer play, which you can just watch the computer play. We might just have Hubie play that. Play the game for us. Maybe because you can show off to your friends, look, I'm really playing the game. Not. So we got 2 viewer versions, the CCE and the Atari one. Let's pop in and play Atari Video Cube in the beginning of May 1982, developed by Josh Littlefield. Way to go, Josh. On Atari, yes. All right, so right off the bat, I'm just going to hit reset on the console. And now we can pick with our joystick. Yeah, there we go. Nice. You can pick what kind of cube you want. And then, push the red button? Oh, gosh. That is so loud. Let me make some adjustments to that one. Whoa. Hubie needs to chill out. Okay, we're in. So the joystick does work. I move Hubie left and right. And when I want to pick up a color, let's say, let's move to the other side. Oh, nice touch. Pick up the red. Nice. Pick up the green. Come back here. Switch out the green. So it's... Oh, it won't let me... Okay. Wait, why won't it let me... Oh, if I'm colored red, you can't go past it. I see. So I can't move past the red right now. So if I wanted to get to another green to the other side, I got to work my way around the red. Okay, because I'm colored red. Now I can switch to green, and I walk through, but you can see I can't go past the other side. Oh, I see. Nice. So now I'm colored purple. It just switched that one. Very cool idea. Okay, so yeah, it's taking the Rubik's Cube idea, but flipping it on its head, doing something completely different. So if I wanted to get this whole side as green, that means I'm gonna walk around. Let's say find a green, switch to the green, and now I know I cannot get over. Okay, now I'm orange, so I can't touch any oranges. But now if I want to fill the rest of the green out, I can only do. Looks like that has green. Yeah, there's green over here. So let's do this. And then now I filled in that one, and I can't do anything with purple, but now I got the 2. Let's move down here. There it is, green. Got it. Okay, so I'm just trying to get one side. I want to see if I can get one side to be filled out, and it looks like I can do it here. Got it. Okay. Ooh, yeah, we get a bonus score for it. Very cool idea. So if you're colored orange, you can't go in any orange squares, and as you walk around, you're trying to get every face to be the same color, just like a Rubik's Cube. But the cool idea is you play as a character. A very well done sprite, I'd say. Well, it's a single colored sprite, but still pretty good. Yeah, and they did get lots of variants for an Atari game. This is actually a game that I went into expecting nothing, but I'm intrigued, and I want to play more of this one. Got one face all done. Yeah, I want to keep going to the next one. Well, we got the concept and the idea down. And this means as you go further and further, when one whole side is a color, if you're colored that one, you can't even go to this side. You can't even flip that way. Very cool. I was totally proven wrong. So of all the games we've seen up to this point, this is a pretty good game. This is well done for a console game. For all the console games we've seen up to this point, it's not like one of the best games you could play, but it's up there. It's really, really good. I'm going to go 4 stars for Atari Video Cube. It's a puzzle game that I didn't expect to be this good. So there you go, 4 stars for Atari Video Cube. And with that, let's see where we're going now. We're studying. Working. No working.
NEC のパピコンはソフトがさらに増えて使い方はいろいろ。家族みんなで
Does everything.
ソフトも周辺機器も豊富になった。NEC のパピコン。
All right, so that was an ad for the NEC PC 6000. And the reason why I put this one up is because we're looking at the latest issue of BYTE magazine, and it's all about Japanese computers. They're coming. Japan is coming. And that ad is just catchy as all get out. Makes me want to buy a NEC system. And if you look at the end of the commercial, there is a ton of peripherals for the NEC computer. It looked like multiple systems or computers that were around it, but no, that's just everything that it can come with. At this point in Japan, there is lots of other computers that came out before the ones that we've already seen on the show. They just didn't have a lot of video games. We're not about hardware here, we're more about the video games. All right, let's see the latest issue of BYTE magazine. In May 1982, they gave us the full cover of all the Japanese computers I guess they could get their hands on. This has a lot on the front cover. Just like we were in the 70s with the wood grain in Japan, they really love those orange keys. You can see all the different systems. We have NEC Sharp there, I believe. A few different ones with printers you could check out in 1982. The newest and best ones. Yes, that's right. Tons of those systems. All right, let's flip down to the table of contents. As usual, the BYTE magazine is a journal that's hundreds of pages long. We are not reading through the whole thing, just to show you some of the cool things coming out in May 1982. The first thing is an article of knowing the real time. Technological advances have made real-time clocks simple and inexpensive. Imagine a world where you didn't actually know the real time, and now computers can calculate that. And then they break down all the computers we saw on the front cover. 6 personal computers from Japan, and it's the review of the ones we saw at the front. The BMC IF800, the Canon CX1, the Hitachi MB 6890, the NEC PC8001, the Fujitsu FM8. And now, just to bear in mind, the systems in the front, we're not going to see these computers because I really couldn't find a lot of video games on the BMC, the Canon, the Hitachi, but the NEC systems, we've already seen some games that were for the 6000 series of NEC and the 8000, and we're going to be seeing more of those as time goes on. The reason I picked one as the first one by NEC as the NEC PC8801 is because that one was the first true like gaming system, and it could play backwards compatible the other games that were available on the 6000, 8000. And then the Fujitsu FM8 is one that really didn't have a lot of games either, but the next one, the FM7, we will see that one by the end of this year. And then the next one is an article on the Japan Update. The semi-annual Consumer Electronics Show is on its way to becoming the showcase for new computer products. And then they also break down an article on several Japanese companies, large and small, have their eyes on the American market. And how successful are they going to be? Well, these are all articles on Japan and Japan computing. And it's getting big. We've already seen little things in BYTE that they did snippets back in like 1981 and 1980, and now that we're in 82, the computer market's already starting to boom. And because the computer market booms, guess what? Everything else as far as technology starts to boom as well. And then we have the Japan Maps Computer Domination. They have a 10-year R&D effort that aims to leapfrog U.S. technology, it says. Oh, and they will. We've already seen the PC 8801, and that one was the game we played, Omatasando Adventure. It was one of the first games that you could ever play on a home computer. The computer itself is a powerhouse. It was very, very technically amazing compared to other home computers. And then they also have their Atari tutorial. They're on part 9 now of adding even more colors to your Atari 400 and 800. And the next one is our ports and entry and soft breezes for the color computer and Model 3. $10 anemometer for other remote sensing projects using the cassette interface. So for all the color computer enthusiasts and TRS-80 enthusiasts out there. And they go through interfaces for another one, and they have a column on SuperCalc spelling programs, because BYTE is not really about video games. It's more just about technology and computer in general. They have also more maze building. We don't need any more maze games. We've already seen a lot, and we're going to see a lot more maze games here on the channel. And then the next article is the TRS-80 basic building or basic program hangups, reasons, and solutions if you're using BASIC. And then they also have using batch processing systems, character editors, how to give your Apple a voice, and speech synthesis. Pretty cool that they're showing this in the article when we've already seen games on the home computer that have speech synthesizer. And then programming PERT in BASIC is next. CPM, getting the real clock there. They have a review on Alien Typhoon and the Apple II 80-column video boards. The Super Fourth, which we've already seen some games that are programmed with Fourth here on the channel. Anything else here? Nothing to speak of, but there is some articles that are really interesting involving Japanese computers. And cool getting the coverage because it's getting big. It's pretty cool seeing this rise of what happens in other countries. All right, so that was our latest issue of BYTE. We do not rate the magazines, but it's pretty cool seeing all those systems on the front. And with that, let's see where we're going now. It is the launch of the Emerson Arcadia 2001. That ad is the Japan version of the Arcadia, which is just the Bandai Arcadia. And I love it. The two kids in the front with their eyes open like, this is the greatest system ever. So we have yet another console releasing to the public. In North America, it was known as the Emerson Arcadia 2001. This is a home console that's kind of similar with a control design as the Intellivision. If you look down the bottom left corner, it's got the numpad. It even does the overlays for the games. Really similar to that. The front console has the start and select buttons, just like we've seen with other consoles at the time. And this one is just like the Creative Vision and the Introtin VC4000, where we call those systems by one name on the channel, but depending on where you are in the world, there could be 20 to 30 different names. So the Emerson Arcadia 2001 goes by Bandai Arcadia in Japan, but it also goes by the Hanimex, it goes by the Advision, the Cosmos, the Home Arcade Center, the Intelligent Game, the Intervision, the Leisure Vision, the Leonardo. Like, it has a ton. If you check it on Wikipedia, there's so many names for this one console, depending on where you are. And if you want some specs to know how this fares to the other systems out there, the Emerson Arcadia comes with the CPU inside of the Signetics 2650, running at 3.58 megahertz. Memory inside is about 1 kilobyte. 1 kilobyte inside. The display runs at 108 by 208, 8 colors. And the sound inside, we have a 2-channel, one's beeper, one noise. And this obviously uses cartridges for the home console. Let's check out our first game for the Arcadia 2001 with Astro Invader. Now, the launch titles for this one are so hard to find. They're very similar to some other consoles that we've seen in other countries. So while we can't really point out the launch titles, I just know when this system came out, and so we're going to play these while we can. When it comes out in Japan as the Bandai Arcadia, there's 3 titles that are only in Japan that we'll be checking out. So this one was pretty much everywhere. Europe, North America, wherever you could get your hands on an Arcadia. But the newest, coolest system, what's it like? Let's take a look at the box for Astro Invader. Most of these are reconstructed because, man, oh man, it's hard to find a legitimate scan of Astro Invader, but we'll do the best we can here on the show. It's got a cartridge inside by Emerson. Flip it over in the back, and you can see this is the only translation I know of Stern's arcade game, originally done by Konami. In Japan, it was called Kamikaze, and we got it as Astro Invader. Earth's gotten in trouble, and once again, you're its only hope. That crazy planet. This time, he cut the instructions off in the back. Not a real box, sadly. But if you wanted to play Astro Invader at home, this would be the only way to do it. Legit from Konami. Let's see what other artwork we have for Astro Invader. Can't believe the box is cut off on the back. And there's our cartridge we'll be popping in. This is pretty cool that it's Konami that did this. Konami got some rights to develop the games for the Arcadia, and they kind of went all in thinking this was going to be the new coolest system. Sadly, it wasn't. It discontinued about a year afterwards. We also have the manual by Tunix. Video game cartridge. Thanks for the scan. Here comes Astro Invaders. You're in for some intense excitement here. The stakes are high in this game. It brings a galactic war into your own home. Astro Invaders launch an attack on the Earth, mobilizing their 5 most sophisticated technological weapons, and you have to defend it at all costs. The Astro Invader mothership transports hordes of alien spacecrafts with gather in battle formation for the attack. They don't burst straight into the Earth's atmosphere for fear of burning up on entry. Out in space, the motherships are protected by a force field and cannot be harmed. To repel the aliens, you can launch missiles into the sky above. Survival of Earth depends on you. Of course it does. How do you play the game? I want to see if this has all of the scenes that we saw in the arcade. The battle begins out in space Astro Invader Mothership number 1 ejects its cargo of deadly pincher craft down to the launching pad. Wow, this is actually pretty intense for a game that is in the arcades already. And it's describing what we're going to be seeing on the screen pretty well. Astro Invaders are putting everything they got into this offensive. Watch out for their secret weapon, the spinning saucers. They spin down on both flanks from the central channel of the battle formation. Powered with a nuclear warhead, on collision with Earth, you lose a missile launcher in the flash. Get it before it gets you. Now, this game in the arcade, every enemy that ends up reaching the bottom has a little shockwave that blows up. And if this UFO, their nuclear UFO, reaches the bottom, the whole bottom is wiped out, which means you die. And then they bring out Mothership number 2. Oh, it does. It has all 4. Or 5, 8. So it's got 8 different levels. Does it let us blow up the mothership? I think we can. We even have the boss at the end. That's awesome. All right, so how do we start the game? Look in the owner's manual first. We don't have our Arcadia 2001 owner's manual, but we got the power off. We put our overlay onto the controller. Does it give an example? Yeah, there we go. Slide that overlay over the top of your joystick so you know how to play. Now, the game is showing you both overlays for 1 and 2 controllers, but this is a 1-player game only. I think so, right? Yeah, it's a 1-player game only. You only use the right controller when you want to freeze and unfreeze the action. They don't call it pause. Freeze and unfreeze the action. That's interesting. So after you got the power on while the cartridge is in, then you can begin the game. They give an example of a screenshot. They have demonstration mode, just like an arcade, and the controller uses the disc and with the joystick in the direction you want to move your missile launcher, left and right, and then action button is fire. These joysticks have 2 action buttons on either side, kind of similar to the Intellivision. Television had 4 on either side, but the same idea. And then the buttons in the middle of the overlay really doesn't do anything. There's no other buttons besides that. So what was the point of the overlay? I think it's describing a grid, but I don't know what that's for. And then you can freeze the game, another big plus. You're playing an arcade game at home, and you can freeze the action. They show you how to score the game, what all the points are, and then some tips. That's nice. Line up your sights, fire, pick them off. Gives you extra ammo, zap the invaders. Happy playing. Happy playing. That's what we do on here on the channel. Let's pop in and play Astro Invader, developed by Konami and UA Limited. In Japan, it was published by Bandai, and North America, it was published by Stern, just like in the arcade game. All right, so here we go. First time playing the Arcadia 2001. You push the button on your system when you want to play. So we're going to push start on the system and go. Oh, firepower is nice. It is a fixed shooter that we've seen, I believe, 1979. Is that when Kamikaze came out for us? Oh man, yeah, the firepower is great. The multi-shots, I can just go to town on these guys. No one's even dropping down. I do remember when we saw this in the arcades that I first wasn't... Oh, there it is, get it, get it. Get the UFO before it lands. And you can see they make columns, and they fill up the columns. When the columns are filled up, then the enemies start to drop down. When I played in the arcades, I was surprised because we were used to 1 shot at a time video game. And at first I'm doing this, you know, one at a time, expecting that I can't shoot another shot until the other one ends. But no, you want to go at it fast. So I already made it to the next level. You can see the newest motherships filled up. Everything's coming down. Got another nuclear warhead on the side. This would be the only way that you could play this game at home. There is other variations of the game. We haven't seen too many, but this is the official variation of Astro Invader that you could check out at home. All right, they filled all of them out. It already went to the next mothership. Oh yeah, now it's getting intense. I am just mashing it. So watch when they hit the bottom. That makes this small shockwave. There we go. Yeah, this is just as intense as the arcade. Oh gosh, already blew up that one. Wow. Uh-oh, nope, 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 not good. If the UFO touches, that's it. Now, it's not giving you all of the graphics that you saw in the arcade. Like, the shockwave looks pretty cool. This one looks like they're just messing up the dirt at the bottom. Oh, what? I thought I hit him. unlike The End or Cosmic Gorilla, this feels like you can actually make a dent in what's happening. When you play The End or Cosmic Gorilla, it seems like no matter what, it's inevitable, but you actually have the firepower, and you can have the skill to shoot. This is actually encouraging me to spam the action button as fast as you possibly can. And it's difficult because the controller has the action button on the side. You have to be doing this as fast as you possibly can. It's tricky. All right, so there is no other game modes, I don't think. Let's try loading it up a different way so you can see what's possibly a more accurate display of what it's like to play Alien Invader. The only problem is this one is playing the sound accurately because the Arcadia has mono sound. So you're looking to hear it from one side, and it's also can't be adjusted with sound volume, so you may have to plug your ears. So here we go. I've been told this is a slightly more accurate way to play, or what it looks like on the Emerson Arcadia 2001. So here we go, Astro Invaders. Same as before, we just have a really cool star field in the background. And usually you see this on a few other games too. It only has a beeper and noise, so it only has 2 channels. It's really not a sound chip. But you could do more with the sound on the Arcadia if you were a very well-versed programmer compared to the Atari 2600. But I've seen people make the Atari 2600 sound pretty good too, even though it only has, I believe, is it a 2-channel? There we go. So kind of a simple idea, but it's using exactly what you would want if you were familiar with the arcade game. So Astro Invader, of all the games we've seen up to this point, it's still a pretty good attempt for a home console game. I'm going to say 3.5 stars, above average. It's a little old to see this title, though. I mean, this is something that has been around the arcades for quite some time. All right, so there's our first title for the Arcadia 2001. Let's see our next one. Also on the Arcadia 2001, it's Auto Race. Why did they call it 2001 in North America? Is that to play on the Odyssey, like 2001: A Space Odyssey? Because there is no other versions of the Arcadia. This is it, of what you got by Emerson. And this is Auto Race. Let's take a look at Auto Race. Starting with the box. Yes. Again, reconstructed box, not actual scans, kind of hard to come by. Let's flip it over on the back. Oh, there's nothing on the back. There's only the front. Even harder to come by. Any other artwork we have for Auto Race? Auto Race. Just an example of the screenshot and the cartridge. All right, let's pop in and play Auto Race at some point at the beginning of May 1982 by Emerson. Oh, nice. So Auto Race gives us a few options. Let's see, we're going to be pushing the option button. So you can do 1 or 2 players. Okay, nice. And then which route? We got 3 different routes to take. Okay. And speed. 2 different speeds. 6, 7. Okay, 9 laps if you wanted to do 9 laps. All right, let's just start with route 1, speed 1, player 1, laps 1, and go. Okay, we're in. So it's a top-down, scrolling racing game. But I'm not really racing anybody. I'm just driving right now. But I do have the ability to crash, it looks like. Where's the sound? Oh, there is sound. It's so quiet, though. It's me increasing in speed. So it's the car sound getting louder and louder. This is using relative control, so you have to turn left and right depending on where the car is, not depending on where you are in space. What does the action button do? Oh gosh, the action button makes you go even faster. But take a look at the scroll. It's doing scrolling, so this is something that the Atari 2600 could not do. They said one of the reasons this system didn't sell as well is because it looks similar to the Atari 2600, and I can see that, but the effect here with Auto Race you couldn't scroll this well on the Atari 2600. All right, let's see if we can do another. Oh, I guess we push reset on the console. It just loads back up with our same options. Are those people running across or aliens? Oh, yeah, you smash into him. What? Do we just run over a person or an animal? I can't tell. So the idea of this top-down racer going from a large map is pretty cool. The only other ones we've seen are still kind of employed like a maze game, Rally X kind of style. But this one actually feels like we're going on a longer drive, and we've only seen home computers do this, not consoles. There was one on the Creative Vision, but that was more like Rally X, not this kind of game. Yes, the limitations do make them better. All right, so I'm going to quit out of that one, and I want to try a different mode because I want to see what two players like. We'll plug in our second controller and see what happens. All right, I want to do 2-player, and let's change up and do Route 2. Let's make it go even faster, and I don't know how many laps. We didn't even get through one lap in the other game. And go, start. Whoa, simultaneous. Wait a second. Okay, so that means you can play the same with someone else at the same time. I'm only controlling one controller right now, but what? Okay, that's awesome. 2-player simultaneous driving. I don't think we've ever seen this on any game for a console game or any game. I'm trying to think of anything on the computer. A scrolling top-down driving game. Now, we've obviously played multi-car games like Sprint 1, where they're all on one screen fixed from a top view. But to play with two people at the same time, I don't think we've seen that. A racing game is scrolling. Like, think of the very first game by Sid Meier. The Formula 1 racing was impressive because it does this top-down view and scrolls around, but it's only one player. This is doing that with two people at the same time. So cool. Yeah, I'd love to have someone test it out. But that's getting it a notch above because of the 2-player mode. But the game itself, it's kind of sluggish to control. Because if you look down at the controllers in the bottom left, you're using those joysticks with relative controls. You have to turn left and right, and it doesn't respond as quickly or as well. It's more just impressive that it's doing anything in the first place. It's just, it exists is what's awesome. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we already got some reviews or star ratings popping in. I'm going with that. 3.5 stars for Auto Race. It's well done, and the 2-player mode's awesome. But the control is it's almost like, how can we fault it for being the first of its kind? A multiplayer simultaneous racing game from the top down that is scrolling across the screen. So it's cool to see that. I'll still go 3.5 stars for Auto Race. All right, so with that, let's press forward and see our next game.
In recession, British computing was
We're now going to the ZX Spectrum, and this is Battle. Let's take a look at Battle, starting with the artwork. And all we got is a few screenshots for it. I think they have an explanation of how it works. There is a few screenshots, and there's the story. This is by K. Flynn, Abacus Programs. Your task is to destroy the enemy missile bases which have recently been constructed on a neighboring island. For this task, you have a heavy tank armed with 20 anti-tank missiles and short-range mortars. Enemy tank pursues you, firing missiles and laying mines. You control the direction of the travel with the keys W, A, D, and X. All right, and stop movement with pressing the other letter. Okay. Thanks for the explanation. Let's pop it and play Battle. This is developed by Kevin Flynn. Way to go, Kevin. Part of a compilation of games. So Battle is part of one of the games you could play on this one. And we're going to see the other one later. I believe it's Iceberg is the other one I pulled out of the compilation. So our task is to destroy enemy missile bases. Recently been constructed. Got it. This is the one we read. Press P. To fire your guns, you have to push 1 through 9 to give them a range of how far the guns are going to fire. The direction is automatic. Missiles are guided by infrared and affected by water, but they do destroy mines at enemy positions. You have 20 missiles. Display gives your score and number of missiles left. Okay, got it. There is us. We're the red tank. Enemies are black tanks. We have surface-to-air missiles, ICBMs, mines. You can take 5 hits from mines and missiles, manage to destroy more than 9 tanks, and score over 600 points. Get back to the top left-hand corner, and you succeed. Okay, so they're kind of giving us a quote-unquote quest or an objective in the game, which is nice. So take out 9 tanks and score over 600 points. Wait, is it and? Oh, and score 600 points, then get to the top of the screen. All right. So bear in mind, this is the brand new ZX Spectrum. So this is like one of the first games you could play on the system. And we are in. So I'm using the controls, but if I want to fire, I want to see what that's like. Fire 2. Wait, why is it firing at an angle? So if I do my numbers, there's me firing 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm wasting my missiles, though. Why is it firing there? I thought it would fire straight off from my tank, but it's not. Oh, can I just bump into him? I'll just do that. Can I bump into the missiles? Okay, I can. Oh, and the tank's now firing back at me. Can I hit him? Oh, that's tricky. Yeah, because I'm not sure why the tank doesn't fire straight ahead. If I want to push 5 right now, I gotta stop moving. 5. Even the enemy tank looks like it's having problems. Oh, too bad. It was a great concept and idea, but even the AI tank, the black one, is having trouble trying to shoot me. A lot of the ZX Spectrum games that are coming out, they look like ZX81 games, just in color and sound. Like this one, I could totally see this playing on the ZX81. So I still get enough missiles. There we go. So I could fire a shot, but you can't fire while sitting still and moving. What? That's so weird. I mean, you can't fire while you're moving. So if I fire a shot, look, it fires the shot over there. But why is it firing behind me to the right? That's so bizarre. All right, so that's Battle. Now, of all the games we've seen to this point, it is a compilation game, so I can't fault it too much because you would have gotten this, and I believe 4. It's a total of 4 titles in the compilation. But as far as Battle goes, rating it by itself, because of the aiming, it doesn't work so well. I'm going to say bad for the titles we could play. And what is up with England giving compilations of lots of bad games? We don't see that anywhere else. It started on computers in the United Kingdom. They are the ones that started, let's put a bunch of games that aren't very good together to make you feel like you're getting a deal. It started here. All right, so that is Battle. Let's press forward and see our next game. We're back on the Atari home computer. This is Bishop Square and Maxwell's Demon. I have no idea what those 2 games are. We're going to find out what it is, starting with the box. This is Datasoft. So there's Bishop Square, can be used with the Micro Painter. Oh, nice, for the Atari home computer. And then Maxwell's Demon. This looks like 2 different puzzle games. I don't know what they're going for, though, because I'm not familiar with these 2 puzzle games. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the price on the front? It's special, $22.45. Oh yeah, the cost for these games is going to be changing a lot. I'm wondering how the cost is going to affect whenever we have the crash in North America, if that's going to change the computer market with their prices. I don't think Sierra Online is going to get away with $99 for a video game when the video game crash happens. Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, it was all about the cost in the United Kingdom because that's why they were selling well. You saw the price. Wow, it's only £4. For 5 games? It sounds like a great deal, right? All right, so object of Bishop Square is to rearrange a picture that has been broken up and scrambled into 4 to 64 squares. Okay, it's a sliding puzzle maybe? If you're not sure which picture is available on your Bishop Square disk, you have to press return. The computer will check the disk and display the picture titles on the screen. Once you've decided, type in what you want to play. So it comes with 3 pictures, cubes, desert, and deer. And then you pick the square size, the line color option key, Atari logo, and then you play the game using your Atari joystick. Nice. And then we got Maxwell's Demon. The second law of thermodynamics states that molecules of different mass, when mixed together, cannot be separated without help of a third party. James Clerk Maxwell argued that these molecules could be separated if there was an imaginary non-existent demon. James Clerk Maxwell is probably on drugs. This demon sat at the gate of separation and separated the molecules based on their ingredients and speed. Maxwell's Demon is an educational game, nice, which graphically demonstrates James Clerk Maxwell's theory. You are Maxwell's Demon. We get to play as a demon, and it's your job to take the disorganized state of hydrogen and helium and organize it exactly the way you wish. What? How in the world did they... See, why am I surprised at the concept of video games at this point? We've seen so many different games. It's crazy. All right, so any other artwork we have for Bishop Square and Maxwell's Demon? Nope, just the 5 1/4 floppy disk. All right, let's pop in and play Bishop Square and Maxwell's Demon at some point in the beginning of May in 1982. This is Bob Bishop and Mark Riley. Way to go, Bob and Mark. Published by Datasoft. So if we push select on our computer, that switches back and forth. We want to start and play Bishop Square. Let's see what happens. Really impressive when you plug in your joystick and everything's controlled without using the keyboard. Makes you feel like you're playing on a console. Oh, never mind. We are on a computer because we have to type in the computer name. Let's try... I think Deer was on the disc, right? Yeah, there we go. So load up the picture. We're ready to play some Bishop Square. What kind of square size do we want? 8. And then line color, let's go with white. So it's going to break this apart into 8. Yeah. 8 columns, 8 rows, and then it's going to just rearrange the whole sucker up. And then you just have to put it all back together again. It is the ultimate sliding puzzle, but actually not the same as the sliding puzzles you can do in your hand. This one, you are manipulating the columns and rows until you get it right. So you see how it's jumbling up? That's what you got to do to get it right back together again. And put it all into place. So can we go back to the main screen? No, we cannot. All right, so there's Bishop Square. I got the idea of that one, but how in the hell or what in the world do we do for Maxwell's Demon? I can see Bishop Square being an okay time. A good way to waste some time. But let's see what happens with Maxwell's Demon. I'm a little scared. We're going to play as a demon. What level of difficulty do we want? Let's go with 2. Okay, we're in. Okay, so I'm controlling, with my Atari joystick, this center dial moving up and down. And when I push the red button, oh, it opens them up. Okay, nice. So we're trying to separate... and only get, oh, I see, nice. Only get certain molecules to go to the other side without letting the other ones through. Oh, I think I can do it. This is the last one. Nope, nice and easy. Because one's going to be going faster than the others. I'm sure I could do it, right? That's it. Wait, why isn't it ending the game? Let me see. Okay, that's the sliding puzzle part. I want to know why the game isn't over when I did separate everything and went to the other side. Cool concept. Do I just need to get everything to the other side without... Let's see. Nope, that's not good. Let's get everything over there. Nice and easy. We did it. So I understand how the game is played. I don't understand how to win, though. Let me see if I can look at the back of the box.
The other. We've only won.
Interesting idea. Really interesting. All right. Educational game played up and down, arrow keys, and start key on your keyboard or joystick. Move the... Separate hydrogen from helium, then try to have equal mix on both sides. Try to place all helium and hydrogen on the left side. Maxwell's Demon limits your imagination. Oh, okay. That's it. There isn't like a win. It's just when you do it, there's no score value or anything like that. That's you're just doing it for fun. I don't know what I think about playing games for fun. Maybe it was based on this one. This is the first example I've ever seen of these. Well, Bishop Square I've heard of, but Maxwell's Demon, this is the first time I've ever played a video game with that. Well, for both titles, I'm actually not going to go bad. I don't consider these bad games, so I'm going to go. It's still around the average range. I'll say 3 stars because there are games that you could play as puzzle games that are done pretty well. So I'll go 3 stars for Bishop Square and Maxwell's Demon. Yeah, your mileage varies, depends on what kind of puzzle games you'd want to play in 1982.
3 programs teach us to program.
All right, so that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Welcome to May 1982. We got a lot more to play and check out. That's all we're going to check out for today, and like I always say, Japanese video games are only the beginning. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.